Okay, so today we're gonna look at turtle soup, SMT, manipulation in general. So let's draw this out. Let's say manip. Okay, that's what we're looking at. Manip. Okay, manip. What is manip? Manipulation. What is that? What's it doing for us? Why do we use it? Okay, let's just get rid of this real quick. I'll keep them on actually to show the point. So, manipulation is basically what we base the trade off, right? It's basically our foundation. Okay, our will it is for me. My rules are I will not enter unless there is some form of manipulation there. So, most manipulations that I use are either TS, which is turtle soup. Okay, that's one. Two is SMT, and then three is just liquidity sweep. Okay, now my bread and butter is these top two together, these two at the same time. Really nice. Okay, really nice. 1 second. Yes, I am having a double espresso at nearly 11 p.m. tonight, but don't worry about it. I'm just doing it so I can make a great video for you guys. Anyway, so this is what I'm basically going to be showing you today. Manipulation, how do we use it, and how do we print off it. Okay, so perfect example is literally, as you can see, let me reset the chart. This was literally yesterday. So yesterday we had this move downward. Okay, it was pretty big move. Yeah, 230 points. Now, what do we see up here? What is this? This is the bread and butter. This is what I like to see. I did not take this, but I do like to see it. Okay, so what is this? This is our. Let me see. This is our turtle soup. Turtle soup. Now I know it's a bit of a funny name, but what is a turtle soup? What's a liquidity sweep? Okay, because it can be different, right? So a turtle soup is where the wicks take a high, but it closes below. So it wicks a high like this, and then it closes below. Okay, so highs wicked, but closes down here. Okay, closes here. Let me find you a liquidity sweep for reference, so you can see the difference. It's another soup. Not really clean. Want something decent, so you can actually see it. Okay. Okay, well this is glitched, but it's it's in PM session, that's why. Okay, this will work anyway. So this is liquidity sweep. Liquidity sweep is where we take a higher low and we close below it and then continue the opposite direction. Okay, that's the liquidity sweep. The problem is with the liquidity sweep is that you can also use it as a CISD against yourself. So, for example, this, right? Let's say all of this has not happened. Let's just say that has not happened. Okay, so we take this. We draw a line. Boom. There's your liquidity sweep. Oh, I'm gonna take shorts. It actually would have played out, but you can get cooked very easily. Okay, it actually did play out, but you could get cooked very easily. If you were aiming for a lot more. Anyway. Is there any better versions of liquidity sweepity sweep? There probably is somewhere. Anyway, I don't use liquidity sweeps as much. Okay, truthfully, turtle soup and SMT is my mainly used manipulation. So I'll explain an SMT then. I'm pretty sure. Let me look. Yeah, so... Oh, wait, no. Oh, wait, no, it wasn't. Oh. I actually thought it was. It actually wasn't. Right, okay. Oh, here's actually a... That's a good way to do it. Right, so on ES here, this was a liquidity sweep. Okay? So, turtle soup, liquidity sweep. Turtle soup, liquidity sweep. Turtle soup, liquidity sweep. You get the point, right? You get what I'm getting at. Oh, hood. Don't feel me. Don't feel me. Right. So you get the difference. Okay? One, wicks closes below. Same opposite thing. If it's going to buy up, it wicks down, takes the low, and then closes above. Okay? Liquidity sweep is same thing. It just closes above the higher low that it takes. So, boom, this high, it would close above, like it did here. It closed above and then turned around. Same with the low. It would close below and then turn around. Simple stuff, right? Simple stuff. Now, we can use them both the same kind of way. So, boom, you've got your manipulation. You can use it for continuation or reversal. This one is a big oil reversal. If we can just load up the 5. I mean, it's actually kind of downtrending, but anyway, it's a reversal, right? So big old reversal here. Yeah, I'm paying for the seconds. No thanks. So what we then use as confirmation, because look, if you enter every single time it does this, if you just enter the opposite way, like for example, here's a great example, right? This turtle soup. Imagine you entered long, straight off that. Cooked. Just cooked. Let's see here. Oh, same thing again. Turtle soup. So you entered off that. Cooked. Okay, cooked. Why? Because direction is a thing. Okay, confirmation is a thing. Now, for example, this one here. So looking at this one here. See the way we have this sell side imbalance, buy side inefficiency. So that's what this is here. It's our imbalance. Let's get rid of that, make it less confusing. Our imbalance. We tapped into it, rejected off it twice, to then continue down. Okay. That's how you would know. You see the turtle soup, you're like, okay, there's my manipulation. That's what I like to see. I like to see that. Now I want to see what it does within this imbalance. Okay. So in the imbalance, you see it wicks to come back down twice. You know, instantly, you know, it's not my trade. Okay. It's not my trade. It's not going to play out. No. Now, if this had, for example, where is the... I'm blind. There it is. Oh, it's literally right here. Idiot. Anyway, if this had, you know, boom, came down, souped, closed above, like this, now, that's a good trade. Okay. That's a good trade. You recover to, if there's probably a 5 minute somewhere here, let's just say it's like here, for example, you would trade it to CE of the 5, right? Or what I like to do, I know this is VWAP is way lower right now, but sometimes you get to trade it to the VWAP too. That's why I have the VWAP there. I use it as a target a lot of the times. That's mostly what I use it for. But anyway, anyway. So that's what you would look for to actually confirm it. So don't just enter them like this. You might get lucky the odd time. You might get lucky, but you're gonna get stopped a lot. So, okay. What made this one play out is I did see this happen in live. This was nice, but still, if you zoom out, let's say all of this didn't happen, right? If you zoom out, it's been coming up since London. Boom, coming up. Structure is building higher, and you see this, right? Yes, it feels to fully break above this high. ES did, but NQ didn't. Okay, it souped the high, came back down, right? First imbalance, yes, it runs through it. Should you enter that? You could. Okay, if you're like, you know what, I'm a risky kind of guy, I like taking the risk, go for it. Take it, target like them lows, for example. You've got a banger trade right there. You can either cover the manip or cover the imbalance, your choice. A lot of the times these days, because the ranges are massive right now, ranges are basically when you enter or well, it's not just when you enter a trade, but your ranges are the price. Okay, so let's say normally this would be like 15 points, but right now it's 30 points, right? The ranges have been bigger since Trump came into office. I have just noticed that. It's just been something I've picked up on over time. But yeah, so a lot of the times I tend to put my stop above the candle that you know inversed the for value gap, for example. So yeah. Now, now this is the problem. This is kind of a hard one to call out. One, because the time as well. If you look at the time, it's just after market open. So it's a bit of a tight one. But you do have this inverse 1, inverse 2, but the close is way down here. So you would have to enter that. And then, I mean, your stop, 42 point stop. That's more than my normal TP is. I normally TP at about 30 points. You know, so you're like, even to that low, it's like a 1-to-1. You know, you have to really de-risk for that, because with normal risk, I mean, that's like near a G with normal risk. So that's no good. Now, you could cover the top of that and just hope for the best. But again, you're risking a lot there. So that's the problem with that trade, for example. But that's what we look for to confirm the manipulation. We look for it to actually inverse an imbalance. So this blue is a buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency. Boom, we inversed it. Okay, it looks like we are going to actually continue down, which means that Turtle Soup has actually done something and is now going to move downward. Okay, boom, we can look to take a trade. What are our targets? Boom, you click on the 5, you look at the targets. Okay, you got VWAP way down here. When price is pretty far from VWAP, it likes to trade down to it or up to it. For example, that would be something I would look for. I know a lot of people don't really use that. They would use like pre-market lows, or I mean London lows very far away, so that'd be a bit of a bad target. But normally people would use London lows and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's that. Let me find an SMT ski to show. SMT ski. Where is one? Where is one? I could show. Oh, hold up. Got one. Got a good little one for yous. Right. So an SMT is just a divergence. It's an SMT divergence between NASDAQ and ES. That's what we use it for. So EQ and ES. NASDAQ and the S&P 500 futures. That's what we are using it on. Don't really know what else it's on, but yeah, that's what I use it on. Anyway, so it's basically because NQ and ES basically move the exact same. They're basically replicas, and they just follow each other. When one takes a low and the other doesn't, it's creating SMT. When one takes a high and the other doesn't, it's creating SMT. Okay, you can use that SMT to then count it as manipulation to trade away from it. You can also use that SMT as a confirmation for a continuation, for example. I'll show you what I mean by that in a second. I will have to find a good reason for it, but that's a different one. A lot of people don't really talk about that one, but I use it for confirmation sometimes. But this is the normal one most people will tell you about. When you hear SMT, this is what they're talking about right here. So this is a Turtle Soup SMT as well. This is the bread and butter. This is what I like to call it. It's my bread and butter model. Okay, so as you can see here, boom, boom. You can see, look here, what did we do in NQ? We took that low. What did we do in ES? We failed to take the low. Okay, so there's a divergence. There's a difference. Okay, one has done something, the other hasn't. So there's our difference. We can then use that to trade against it. So NQs took that low, ES didn't take that low. ES continues to trade up higher. NQ will probably trade up higher. Okay, same thing again though. We don't just enter off an SMT, because that ain't gonna work very well for us. By the way, you can use it as well. I mostly only trade NQ. Let me see if there's another. No, I'll find one somewhere else. You can treat. You can use it as well. Let's say we're trading ES. Okay, we'll just use it that way. You can. It doesn't have to. You don't have to take a trade in the one that actually took the low or high. It can actually be taken on the other one. So you can take off something like this. When you see that, oh, NQ has actually took the low, ES hasn't. Now ES is starting to turn around, and we get a bit of a change in the state or an inverse. Okay, looking good. Let me just take that trade, for example. Okay. Now this is a bit of a tough one to call because there's nothing too clean here. Normally we would want something like a nice 1 minute here, for example. There isn't, obviously. That's like non-existent. And the first one's like here, which is a bit far away, not gonna lie guys, a little bit far away. So it isn't something I would really take, to be honest. Now you could count it as a bit of a CISD kind of, I guess. It's again, it's kind of rough. You know, it's kind of rough. It's kind of rough. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I can show you though the way I do order blocks off of them. Now they're not the usual order blocks that you see people talking about, like a 5-minute or a 15-minute order block, or a 45-minute or a 30-minute order block, where it's like an order block and price comes and taps into it, and then, you know, it's not like that. These are a different type of order block. I don't know, they're just a different type, right? Tend to just use them on the 1 minute, often manipulation. So this is the manipulation. This candle that pushes down, and then this candle that then caused the manipulation that pushed up and closed up. See this? This is the order block. You take your fib tool, you draw it out from the bottom to the top of the first candle, okay, in the two, first candle in the two, and you've got your 50%. Okay, this is really hard to see. I should maybe let me improve that actually. Let me improve that. Oh, okay. You still can't really see it, but the 50%. Okay, so what we like to do is then on the third candle, which is this candle right here. So this candle, what we want to see is we want to see it wick in, or it might not wick in, but we want to see it respect the 50%. So if it closes, if this candle closed, let's say here, for example, or anywhere here, if it closed there, wouldn't take it, right? Wouldn't take it. If it wicked up and closed here, or where it closed itself, good. Okay, so obviously it closed up here, really good close, really good respect. As soon as you see it do that, I mean the close is pretty high up, but you can click enter there if you want, and you can either cover the entire manipulation, or you can cover the order block itself, and then obviously your targets. This isn't a bad target. It's probably rebalancing. I mean, it's been selling off all day, so it's probably rebalancing. You could target VWAP if you're crazy enough, which I think it did hit. It did hit, and you wouldn't have got BE. So if you don't mind being in a trade for hours, there you go. Would have worked really well. But that's not really how I trade. I'm in and out within 5 to 10 minutes normally, so I'd probably trade it to this area here, or if there's a 5-minute or something. But that would probably be what I would take right there. You're out in about 4 minutes, right? Even 3, it's like 3 minutes and you're out. But that's the kind of trade that I would take. That is like this is like a bread and butter trade for me. Okay, this is standard issue, what I like to see, to take. You've got your manipulation. Okay, you got your manipulation, which is turtle soup and an SMT. So you got turtle soup and you got SMT. Okay, you got soup and you got an SMT. Makes an order block. Wick respects 50% of the order block, closes above. Boom. We can enter it. You can even enter it somewhere here. If you see it wicking and then coming back up, you can enter it there. Super good stop then. But if you want to really play it smart, then just enter as soon as it closes. As soon as you see the seconds come up and down here, boom, enter, okay? And then cover that order block. Or if you really want to stay in it, cover the manipulation. Honestly though, the order block should suffice. If it does come down and nearly takes out the manipulation, it's probably not a great trade anyway, and you've probably mixed something up with direction. Obviously, this needs to be paired in with something like higher time frame, like oh well, actually we took that. Yes, took that. Oh yeah, it did. Okay, okay, okay. I didn't actually notice it took that. I wasn't trading at that time. I had logged off at that point, but yeah, honestly, that's a solid trade. And it, oh yeah, look at that too. Look what we tapped into, boys. That is a bread and butter right there. If you want to see what a bread and butter looks like, that's a bread and butter right there. That's a bread and butter. Manipulation, order block entry, and for me, there you go. I've literally just give you like a model right there. Like that is an OP model. This wasn't even meant to be a model video, but I've just given you a model. Anyway, what were we doing? Right. Okay, so I've shown you Turtle Soup, I've shown you SMT, I've shown you how to enter a trade, I've shown you how to confirm the trade for entry. Now, liquidity sweep. Okay, we've got one right here. Perfect. Now, I normally wouldn't trade at this time, by the way, guys. Wouldn't really, right. Well, actually, this is PM session, so you can trade this if you want, but okay. So, what do we have here, for example? Okay, you've got something pretty decent lined up. So, I'm just going to read the whole thing out for you guys. Okay. Well, we've got our liquidity sweep. Now, liquidity sweep tends to not be, I don't really have a factual reason, like scientific reason why, but it's not as strong as a turtle soup. Because it's closed above, normally when it closes above or below a high or a low, it tends to continue on that way, right? We use it as a bit of CISD. So this would be, look at structure building up, boom, you got a high, low, high, low, high, low, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so that's why you got to use other things. So we also have this that it tapped into. We've got obviously VWAP right there to push it down lower. It's very close to VWAP. It's probably going to bounce off it. But how do we confirm it? Same thing again. Boom, you got your liquidity sweep. Then you got your buy side imbalance that gets inversed like that. You even get a little retap with the wick right there. Boom, you click enter, you cover that top, and you aim for the low and get cooked. Nah, you don't. Jokes. You actually don't get cooked. But it is a bit of a dodgy trade, to be honest, just because it's not something I would take. But I mean, if the way PA has been going, you could actually have taken, let me see what time, you could actually have taken that, to be honest. That's also not bad, because you've had this liquidity sweep, it's pushed it down, but it hasn't took out these lows, and then it's got like, you've got literally like all these just stacking up, just dying to get swept. You get a rebalance. Look at all these wicks, wick. Bit of a push down, boom, click enter, cover that, aim for them lows, boom. That's like a, I don't know, it's just this kind of normal trade. Like it's nothing special. It's just normal kind of trade. But that down there is like bread and butter model. This is not fully one because it did an SMT. If this was an SMT, this would also be bread and butter, but not the order block kind. Okay, because as you can see, the order block would be like this, and it's not really adequate, is it? This one is an imbalance or for value gap inverse version, you could say. Okay, so that's just where we use previous buy side imbalance or sell side imbalances when they get inversed, meaning it inverses it the opposite direction. So we've got buy side imbalances, then it gets inversed by sell off candles. Okay, so just like that. So you've got your manipulation, you've got your confirmation, confirmation, and there you go. Click enter and target something like VWAP or something like that. That's probably what I would have targeted. If I clicked enter there, I would honestly have my stop there, and I would be aiming for VWAP. That would be my trade right there. That's what I would take. If you want to know what I would take, that's what I would take. That's what I would cover. Yes, do I have a good chance of getting stopped? I do, but I don't like losing. So, or I don't like losing a lot, I should say. I don't like losing a lot. Anyway, I've got this account here. This is a bit of a fun one. This is what do you call it? The Tradify Cup. Tradify Cup. So maybe I should just full port it right now for you guys. Is there anything to take? I can just show off my skills right now. What do we got? What 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 we got? Oh, we got an SMT. Oh, we got a 5 minute. We got a 5 minute. We freaking inverse the 5. If we can inverse the 5, guys. That's a bit far, isn't it? It's a little bit far from manipulation. This wouldn't have been bad. This wouldn't have been a bad one. Rebalancing. Let's continue lower. Not bad. Not a bad trade. Anyway, enough BSing. Okay. That's I think that's it, didn't I? I showed it all. Oh, I'll keep that for another video. Using SMTs to confirm your continuation trade or something like that. I'll show that in a different video because that actually could do with a whole separate video because I feel like that's a bit of a interesting topic. I don't see a lot of people talking about it. So yeah, there's how to use manipulation. So you've got turtle soup, SMT, and liquidity sweep. How to use them, how to confirm them, how to find a trade out of them. And I've just used yesterday, for example. Look at how many trades there was. 1, there was 2, there was there was 3 there. There's a whole bunch, right? There's a whole bunch. There's another one down here. There's a bunch, right? I know I complain about PA, but there's actually always some decent trades to be taken, just not always at my time. Not always at the time I would like. But anyway, yeah, that is today's video. I'm going to try and go through basically everything I use, break it all down, even though I've just given my entire model basically away in this video. That was not the plan, but I'm generous. What can I say? I'm generous. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, maybe I'll live trade. I want to start doing that when I get back. I'll be going. People on YouTube that are watching this, you will know first before anyone else. I am moving from Australia. I'm going to Thailand, and then I'm going somewhere else. And then I'm going to build an office. I'm going to build a full-on office. It's going to be sick. And there's going to be absolutely just tons of videos. I'm going to just pump out videos, one every day. I'm going to do a video every single day showing everything. How to do the mind, the mental in trading, which is the most important thing. Not going to lie. I've shown you a model. I've literally shown you a model in this video. You can take this model and you can make a ton of money if you control your mind. This is enough to make you tons of money. Okay, it's been a dodgy last month, and I still was, printing a few G's per se, and not just only in Q. I was actually trading a lot of gold and silver, but that's for a different video. Okay, I need to stop yapping, and I need to let you guys go. So, see you guys later. I don't even know how long this is going to be, but I'll see you later. I fucked it.